Hi there everyone, in this video we're going to look at angles on a line and a point, and just before we get there we're going to talk about a couple of sort of interesting side notes I suppose about why this stuff works. So first of all, if we just look at a straight line, and if we pick a point on that line and we think about measuring that angle the whole way round. Now if that line's straight, that angle the whole way round is 180. And so that simply means that if you break that angle into two, so say if that was 30 degrees, then this angle here would have to make up the rest, the balance, to make 180. So that would have to be 150, so that these two add up together to make 180. So that's the first point. The next point is if we have a single point, then to go the whole way around that point would be 360 degrees. So a similar idea to what I was talking about before. If we have a single point with a few lines going into it, say if that was 60, no, that would be more like 160, and say that's 130 degrees, then this angle here would have to make up the balance to make it up to 360 degrees, and so we'd subtract those two off 360 and we'd be left with 70 degrees. Obviously that's not to scale there. So let's look at a few examples to get the idea of this. So this first example here is asking us to calculate the angle of y, and this symbol here means that's 90 degrees. So that angle there is 90, and so those two angles are going to add up to 145. So y would be 180 minus 90 minus 53, and so that would be leaving us with 37 degrees if we do that into our calculator. And so that angle there would have to be 37 for that to all add up to 180 degrees. So here's one with angles at a point. So to work out x, we would just get 360 and take away each of those angles. And if you can't do that in your head, you do it in a calculator. So that would be 140 degrees, I believe. So 140 degrees. And that's all the working that you need to show there. You would write a rule there and just say that that's angles at a point as well. And with this one you'd say angles on a line. And so that little symbol there that looks a bit like an L, that's just shorthand for angles. It's like a little version of an angle. Okay, one more example, quickly go through. So because of these two lines, this angle here we can work out. That would be 180 minus 51, which would be 39. And then we've got another straight line through here, and so x would be 180 minus 39, which is 51. But what we can see is we end up having the same size angle on both sides here. And so we end up going straight to that, and we end up just saying that x equals 51 degrees in this case, and the name that we give for that rule is vertically opposite angles. Okay, so whenever you come to this scenario, you can be sure that those two angles are going to be the same. Alright, I'd like you to practice some of these in exercise 18.04, please.